latest trend in video games, in my opinion, has to be virtual reality. A lot of people expected it to sort of overtake gaming, to overtake your home television, but I don't think it's quite done anything like that. Of course, the main instance of virtual reality in the home console marketplace is the PlayStation VR. Now, the PlayStation 4 is widely successful, probably over 90 million units sold of that, and PlayStation VR was the flagship VR program for home console gaming. And PlayStation VR did do somewhat okay. Sony seemed somewhat satisfied with it, but I can't imagine that they were really satisfied with it, because I think they expected it to sell a bit more than like the 2 million units that it has sold. Sure, there's been some good games on it, but it doesn't seem like a lot of gamers are ready to adopt this virtual reality life cycle. Nintendo is a company that has dabbled in VR before with the fantastic Virtual Boy. What do you mean the Virtual Boy isn't fantastic? It is fantastic. I love the Virtual Boy. No, but really, it was just a bad decision by Nintendo to do something like the Virtual Boy. It was an absolute failure. But there's been a lot of people talking about that virtual reality would be potentially coming to the Nintendo Switch, which honestly didn't make a whole lot of sense to me because of the Nintendo Switch's screen. But here we are. Virtual reality is coming to the Nintendo Switch in the form of Labo. And you guys know how much I just absolutely love Labo. So what the hell is going on? What is this virtual reality Labo kit coming to the Nintendo Switch? Sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about VR coming to the Nintendo Switch officially.
Hey, RGT 85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards! So just announced on Twitter mere moments ago, Nintendo did the following tweet saying that VR was coming to the Nintendo Switch, because why would you save something like this for a Nintendo Direct when you could just do it in a tweet? Experience a new dimension with the latest Nintendo Labo kit. With more games and creations than any previous kit, Nintendo Labo Toy-Con 04 VR kit is a unique first VR experiences kids and families can build themselves, arriving April 12th only on Nintendo Switch. So this is coming pretty soon, April 12th, that's like a month away, a month and a few days away. And Nintendo is bringing a form of virtual reality to the Nintendo Switch. Now, of course, it is a form of Labo. And you guys know, I do not do well with Labo. I don't know what it was about Labo, but I could not put it together. I put together the Street Fighter arcade cabinet from 1UP with literally no problems, but Labo and me, we just didn't really get along. So how is this Labo kit going to work? What is the information on this virtual reality set? Well, over on Nintendo's website, they gave some more information on what this was going to be all about. Simple, friendly, fun. With the new Nintendo Labo VR kit, there's more to make, play, and discover together than ever before. Nintendo Labo Toy-Con 04 VR kit is a unique first VR experience kids and families can build themselves. The starter kit plus blaster kit provides an action-packed introduction to the experience. You can then add to the fun with expansion sets, or if you want an even broader experience right away, you can purchase the full Nintendo Labo VR kit, which features 6 VR Toy-Con projects in one package. And on the website, there's a bunch of different photos of it, so you can see that there are 2 different ones. There is the starter set plus blaster, and then the full VR kit that comes with everything. Now, you can see from the website that this isn't really a standard sort of VR thing. Yes, it does have the goggles that you put on. It looks a lot like Google Cardboard, which is something that you would use on your cell phone, and you just attach it to the Nintendo Switch as seen in the first Labo picture here, and then bam, you're playing in virtual reality somewhat, in some sort of way. Obviously though, with the big kit, the VR kit, the full kit, there's a lot of other stuff going on here. We've got a little kid with a little kaleidoscope thing, a little blaster thing, a kid that just looks like he's looking into a lunchbox, another doohickey. There's all sorts of weird stuff on here. And you can see that there are 3 different sets that will be available, well, technically 4 with the full VR kit. Now the first kit is the starter set plus a blaster. So that of course comes with the starter set, which is what you attach to the Nintendo Switch, and then a blaster thing. More than likely it's going to be used in some sort of shooting game, probably something like Project Giant Robot. I don't know, that one actually looks pretty simple. The little blaster thing itself looks kind of difficult to put together just looking at it, because I'm an idiot who can't put this stuff together. Looking on, there is expansion set 1, which is the camera and elephant. So there is a camera-like apparatus. Maybe that could be used for something like a Pokemon style Pokemon Snap game. Obviously it wouldn't be a Pokemon Snap game, but maybe it could do something that mimics that. The elephant thing, I have no idea what you would do. Maybe you're an elephant and you're like using your trunk to spurt water on people. I don't know, that's kind of a weird thing. And then there's expansion set 2, which is a bird and wind pedal. So the bird itself doesn't look all that difficult to put together. The wind pedal absolutely terrifies me because, yeah, that just looks very difficult, like I'm gonna break it within 2 seconds. But those are the 3 different kits, and then of course you can get the Nintendo Labo Toy-Con 04 VR kit, which comes with everything: the VR goggles, the wind pedal, the camera, the elephant, the bird, and the blaster. So obviously I have a lot of questions about this because virtual reality, like I said, is something that I don't really know a whole hell of a lot about because I sort of washed it off when the Virtual Boy came and went. I realized maybe this isn't necessarily for me. I don't get motion sickness or anything, but I don't know. I just didn't like having something strapped to my head at all times to play these sort of games. But this, I don't know, it looks kind of interesting. I guess my first question on this is, how is this going to work with other games? Can I use these goggles in other games? Like, is it just going to make the game like right here on my face, or is there going to be some sort of integration with Nintendo games? Obviously third-party games that have already released onto the market, they're not going to have any sort of integration with this, but can I use this in something like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe via an update? Obviously they did include one of the previous Toy-Cons that was available in Nintendo Labo to work with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I think that was actually a really cool thing that they were adding that into the game. It would be interesting to see if Nintendo does anything with that. I'm not quite sure how it would work with the Joy-Cons and everything like that, but I do think it would be pretty neat to see some sort of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe integration into this Nintendo Labo kit. Now, what else is this going to have? Is this going to be a good value? Obviously, Nintendo Labo at the start was pretty hot. A lot of people were talking about it. I remember it released alongside God of War. I picked up my Nintendo Labo kit and I couldn't put it together because obviously I'm an idiot. But the camera and the elephant set sounds kind of cool. Like I said, if they do something like a Pokemon Snap style game where you're looking around, obviously the Joy-Cons are attached in different forms in these different kits that you have here. You see in the standard picture, it's attached to the actual system. The Joy-Cons are in the camera kit. You can see that it's attached to the actual camera. So the Joy-Cons are going to be used in a variety of different ways. So I suppose that they could do some sort of integration with first-party Nintendo titles. Will other companies want to jump onto this bandwagon though? Will other companies want to tip their toes in the VR world of the Nintendo Switch if the Nintendo Switch Labo VR kit is successful? I think that really it will be an interesting thing to see going forward, how successful this is actually going to be. Obviously the first shipment of Labo was pretty successful, but then it just sort of died out. You don't really hear many people talking about Nintendo Labo anymore. Obviously this isn't necessarily designed for hardcore gamers that have a Nintendo Switch. Labo has always been more so about building the project and then checking out the project for a little while and then maybe putting it away. I don't think it's necessarily delegated to a hardcore gaming experience, but something like this could possibly attract other people into this system. I can't imagine walking around in public with a little headset attached to my Nintendo Switch and like playing VR games, but maybe some people will pick up on it. I do think Nintendo does need to have some solid software with these games though. I don't think just cheesy mini games are really going to be a worthwhile experience with VR, because honestly that's one of the big downfalls of VR in my opinion. There's no really full-on game experiences. Obviously the PlayStation VR, when it first came out, a lot of them were just sort of tech demos for this VR. As time has gone on, there have been better games that have come out on the PlayStation VR, don't get me wrong, but that first initial year or so, it just seemed like they were all tech demos to sort of showcase this technology. And of course there's a question, is does VR even matter anymore in modern gaming? Are people still looking forward to VR-like experiences? I don't necessarily think they are. You don't really hear about PlayStation VR all that much anymore. Obviously Xbox doesn't seem to be doing anything with VR, and now Nintendo is sort of getting into the VR market, but how big will this spread? How much of a reach will this actually have? I don't know, but it's going to be very interesting to see. Will I pick up this VR kit? I think it really depends on the price point. I'm not going to pick up the whole robust thing unless there's some just awesome games on there, which I really don't expect there to be, but I may check out the starter kit just to sort of get my hands on it, just to review it, to see how it works. Obviously, I will not put this together. I will have some friends come over and put this together. I will pay them in pizza and soda, or maybe even some cash if they need it, because I am not able to put together cardboard. But I don't know, it's kind of interesting. Obviously, my anticipation of Labo has really gone downhill over time. You know, at first I thought, this looks so cool, I want to get this robot kit and be this giant robot, and then I tried to put it together and I just failed miserably, and I was like, you know, maybe Labo isn't for me. But I'm willing to give it one more shot, especially if they do some sort of integration with current Nintendo titles, first-party Nintendo titles, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. watch. Put in a first-person mode and you're just playing around. I don't know. I think that would be really cool. But let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this VR set for Nintendo Labo coming to the Nintendo Switch. Are you surprised that Nintendo is even bothering with VR, considering the fact that it seems like VR is sort of dying down? Do you think this will be successful, or do you think this is just sort of a cheap cash grab? And as always, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't yet, check out other videos on the channel. We just did 2 other videos on the channel today. I did a Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove review, and I also did an RBI Baseball 19 review. One of those games I really liked, and one of those games, well, I really didn't. As far as the future is concerned, I'm currently playing Devil May Cry 5, so be on the lookout for that review in the upcoming days. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.